Hello, this is Longest Day, and we'll be doing the first series in the GT versus Miami 2014 game. First, I want to look at the Miami defense, set up very similar to the Virginia Tech defense. They do a couple of things different sometimes. You'll see a lot of times you'll see this defensive end go out, you'll see this outside linebacker go out, and this Mike linebacker will actually be filling in to take the B back. And you'll seldom see him running very hard to the outside to get to the outside like we saw in the Virginia Tech game. All right, so we'll go ahead and start this off. And it's going to be a triple option. And we'll look here, and you'll see this defensive end and the outside linebacker are going to the outside. So that is a give read. And so it is a give. And we end up having these two defensive tackles get a hand on Lasky. But I want you to pay attention to Shaq here. He really shoves hard. He looks like he's pushing a sled in practice. Pushes him on down the field, and we make up some good yards right there. All right, so we'll keep on going. Check out the next play. All right, so this is going to be another triple option, and I want you to notice something different. You got the defensive end is going to go out. It's going to be a cross charge from the outside linebacker. So he's coming in. JT reads the cross charge, and the outside linebacker does take the B back, showing that JT should have kept, and he did. So we have that. We'll notice the center here is going to go out and try to block the Mike linebacker, and it isn't able to get a shoulder him at all. Now, a lot of you have wondered, why do these guys line up so far back? If he was 2 yards closer, I believe that the center probably could have gotten to him, and it would have been able to block him. I do want to note that during the last two games that we have been really hitting this defensive end kind of hard to kind of slow him up. But you'll see here, after we keep the ball, because of the cross charge, we let him go. And now, depending on where this guy goes, is whether we keep or pitch the ball. Of course, he takes the quarterback, we pitch it, and now we're supposed to run the outside. Check out two blocks here. We have a crossing block. We have the wide receiver coming in for the safety. Isn't quite able to block him, but he's able to at least push him to the inside. We have the A-back taking the cornerback there, and he pushes him to the outside, which creates a little hole for our A-back to run through. We end up picking up the first down, not the touchdown. If everybody does get their blocks, that's a touchdown. All right, so we'll take on the next play here, and it's going to be a dive. One reason I know it's dive, I watched the A-back. You'll see him go straight versus around, and we'll see what happens here. So this is a dive. Notice the center here. He's going to go back and take out this outside linebacker. And the B-back's supposed to go through the hole, and he bends around, and he's supposed to come through this area right here. So he takes him out. Now, if this Mike linebacker is, traditionally in a lot of other games is going hard to the outside, he should be somewhere right around here, and he won't have a chance to get to the B-back. But since both of these two guys are going to the outside right here, they have the outside covered. So he's supposed to come up and take the B-back, and he does, but not after we get a couple yards. Now, he only gets a bit of his leg. If Lasky's just a wee bit faster, that could go for some yards. But we get our 4 yards in a cloud of dust, and we'll take it. That was a penalty on that play, offsides on defense, so we actually get a free play out of that. So that was a dive. Now this is going to be a triple option. You notice that in the triple option, we actually go through a different hole here. And he's going to go right off the guard's hip right here. You can see the center going out. Instead of taking the backside linebacker, he's now going to go out for the Mike linebacker. All right. So we'll watch these two guys to see if JT should give or keep. You notice both of these two guys are headed to the outside. So it's a keep. It's a give to the B-back. So he gives to the B-back. We go out there to try to make our block. Now, something I want to note, in VT game, this Mike linebacker would have been downhill very quick, and he would have been able to probably get past this block. But since he is hesitating, and we're able to get the block out, and we're able to push him back. Now, if we take him to the ground, it's open. It's clear sailing all the way for a TD. But we don't quite able to get him to the ground, but we're able to make sure we get a lot of yards before anything happens. Alright, so if we want to look right here, we can see that the play has already started. He hasn't even moved. He hasn't jumped. He hasn't hopped. You've seen a lot of that in the other games. This guy will actually kind of take a hop in a certain direction. So he hasn't moved, still hasn't moved. Now he's just barely starting to move, and that allows that center to get out there and to make a block on him. You see we have a giant hole. Now you can also see that if we take him to the ground, and if Lasky was able to cut up quicker, that this could have went for a lot more yards. But we did get a decent block on him. Alright, so same setup. You notice that there's 7 in the box. They are really respecting our passing, our wide receivers. Virginia Tech often had 8 or 9 in the box. They would move up their safeties. Their cornerbacks continually play about 10 yards off. They have the safeties way back, and last year Miami did a lot of cornerback blitzing. Hardly any quarterback blitzing this year. So we'll go ahead and start this off. And you can see it's going to be a triple option in this direction. Looking to see what's going on here. And you can see that both of these guys are going to the outside. Of course, the Mike linebacker is stepping up. And you can see that we're going to try to block him right here. And we do get a great block. This just drives him off right there. It's great. I wondered if he was taking him down to visit the student section at the end of the end zone. But it's a great drive off. We're not so lucky right here in the center. We do get. I do want to say that we do win the battle and push them off the line. You can see the line was right here, but we're not able to get the big gaps in the center, and so we only make 2 yards off of it. All right. So what's going on here? This is a play I haven't seen before. This is not the A-back counter. This is different than the A-back counter. Normally in A-back counter, you actually have a pulling guard come down, or actually 2. You have the off tackle and the guard pull down and block off here on the end. This sets up just like a triple option, but this A-back's going the opposite direction, and we do a little shuttle pass backwards to him. And then if you look here on defense, what is everybody doing? They are biting hard on the triple option in this direction. They bite hard on it, but it's going back the other way. And we make first down and then some more. And if you notice, we have some good blocking going on here on the edge. Right there. Make some good yards. All right, we'll keep on going. Getting close for a touchdown here. We're off balance on this side. Thing to notice, we have a linebacker stepped up. We have the cornerback stepped over, so you have the 2 linebackers here. We're still respecting the pass. Go ahead and start it. It's just going to be basically a rocket toss in that direction. Now I want you to look at Chamberlain right here. He does a great job containing his edge, keeps him there, and actually blocks a couple other guys at the same time that have to go around them. I have a block to make out here. And I do believe that this possibly could have been a good block, depending on what this guy would have done. Now he's seeing end zone, so he's going to try to go for it versus go around. I know Johnson was saying in a Tulane game we need to try the outside more, but he sees the end zone, goes for it, isn't quite able to make it. Gets us pretty darn close. Ends up being offsides on defense, so we get a free play out of it. Ends up being 2nd and goal. It was declined, by the way. That offsides was declined. 2nd and goal, lined up in a very similar fashion as last time. See what happens. So it's going to be a QB follow behind the B-back, but I'm really not sure what's supposed to happen. I think he's supposed to go right behind the B-back, especially when I see what Chamberlain's doing. Chamberlain's pushing this guy to the outside, and instead of going, up behind Lasky, who's, basically pushing Griffin on through to the end zone, he goes to the outside. And we end up having defenders there to stop the run. Get to the next play here. Do believe this is just a QB sneak. Sneaks it on in, finds a little hole, and makes the touchdown. So that's the first series. Hope you enjoyed it. Look forward to your comments. Thank you very much.